Yo, what's up everybody, my name is Case James and welcome back to my channel, and today I want to be talking about what's happened this month during January. And I mean, what month it's been. A lot of mainstream moments, live sporting moments, television moments. So I want to make this a regular thing where I basically summarise what's happened each month. I've had this Christmas break, and now that I'm back at uni, it's an opportunity to upload these videos again. But without further ado, let's start by talking about the possibility of World War III. This is ridiculous because we had the general election last month, and now to have this, it's not looking good for England, isn't it? It's obviously Iran and America having their problems, but us being allies of America, if they were to go to war, there's a possibility of us going to war as well, therefore being a World War III. But the funny thing is, like, people are joking about this, but if there was actually going to be a World War III, like, the biggest crisis of our generation would be, where's the Wi-Fi? You know, I'm at least enjoying the memes and the GIFs, but yeah, it's not a good start to the month. So also in the news, Prince Harry has left the royal family. I mean, this is a huge moment, but fair play to him, because I think it's pretty well known at this point that with the royal family, they do have these arranged marriages, and Harry quite clearly married someone who wasn't arranged for him, and he married someone he wanted to marry, not that the family wanted him to marry. And the fact that he is stepping away from this power that he has as being Prince Harry and a part of the royal family, it's a lot. He's very brave for doing that. It's also the fact that this whole Jeffrey Epstein murder/suicide, whatever side of the fence you're on, there's a lot of conspiracy theories about him and what's happened to him. But with all these conspiracy theories coming out, it seemed like maybe the perfect time for him to leave the family. But anyway, moving on to television, and Love Island's back. The fact that we're getting 2 Love Islands now this year, like there's the winter one now, there's the summer one. We also have, I think Australia has one now, America has one now. I mean, it can't get any worse at this point. But I haven't been watching it, surprisingly, but I have heard of 2 guests, 2 islanders that's come to the villa. One was Ollie, who's a trophy shooter, and he's left the island because apparently he realised that he's made a mistake with one of his exes, and he wanted to leave the villa to pursue a relationship with him, or her, or him, who knows. But anyway, there's also another person who is the ex of Lewis Capaldi. I mean, imagine being the ex of Lewis Capaldi and being on Love Island. I don't know what's more embarrassing, if I'm being honest. The fact that people watching Love Island still think that it's real is it's actually hilarious, because it's quite clearly staged, like with the fire pit moments, like when they have to choose who they couple up with. Apparently that process takes about 2 hours to film, because if they don't give a good enough reason to who they want to choose, apparently they have to redo it. And this is from ex-Islanders actually coming out and saying all of this stuff. You know, a lot of it is staged, essentially. And if you want any more proof, there's the fact that pretty much every episode they have a moment where 2 people consult each other in the villa, and they're like, let's talk over here. And it's usually near like the sunbeds, and they have 7 different angles of the conversation in this one small area. But anyway, moving on from Love Island, we also had the Golden Globes. Now, this was really exciting for me, because it was an opportunity to see what great work was put in from actors, actresses, and the movies, essentially. So from the top of my head, the best actor in a drama was Joaquin Phoenix for the Joker. Obviously, had to be him. He even kind of made a joke during his speech where he was like, oh, well, who else was it going to be? But yeah, no, it was absolutely hilarious, and he 100% deserved it. you know, the people who were nominated, they had Adam Driver for Marriage Story, which I haven't watched yet, but it does look really interesting. They also had Christian Bale nominated for this Ferrari film, but it seemed like there was only one possible winner for that, and that was Joaquin Phoenix, obviously killing it in the movie The Joker, and what an incredible performance it was. I did see a few people get angry about it because Robert Downey Jr. And the Avengers didn't get any like nominations whatsoever, and I kind of understand that, but I also feel like with Avengers Endgame there wasn't really a main character anyway. I mean, you could definitely agree that Iron Man or Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr. absolutely killed it in the film, but you know that it was all about, it wasn't just about him. There was obviously Captain America, Hulk, the main Avengers had their big moments as well. But yeah, I mean, he had an incredible performance. I don't know if he's nominated for the BAFTAs, because the BAFTAs is coming up now. It's happening in February, so that'll be an interesting thing to talk about next month. But yeah, fair play to Joaquin Phoenix. I think Taron Egerton won for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical, obviously for Rocket Man as Elton John. Completely agree with that. I still need to watch the movie. I can't believe I haven't watched it yet, but I've seen some clips and it looks absolutely amazing. They got Renee Zellweger winning for the movie Judy. That was about Judy Garland, the woman who was in The Wizard of Oz, and I still haven't watched that as well. There's so many great movies that I haven't watched yet, but a lot of these movies were in cinema. But also let's talk about the movies themselves. So The Missing Link won for Best Animation, which I thought was fair. I think all the other nominations were either remakes or sequels, and The Missing Link was its own thing. I think it's on Netflix as well, so I have to give that a watch as well. But they had Toy Story 4 nominated, they had I think they had How to Train Your Dragon nominated, they had The Lion King, the live action Lion King, even though it is animated because there's no actors in it, it was all CGI characters. 1917 actually won 2 awards, and they were nominated a lot actually, and not to like discredit 1917, I'm actually really excited for the film. I think it's out in cinema now, so I definitely have to give it a watch, but it's the whole fact of it didn't come out in the cinema at that point, so it did feel like, well, the people haven't watched it. It did win 2 awards. It won Best Director, Sam Mendes directed it, and then it won Drama Motion Picture. Brad Pitt won Supporting Actor as well. Really well done to him. Obviously that was in Once Upon a Time. I watched that, absolutely enjoyed it. I don't think it's Quentin Tarantino's best work, but it was a solid film, and Brad Pitt 100% was my favourite character in that film. So let's talk about fighting. So first of all, we have McGregor versus Cowboy Cerrone. The fight ended in 40 seconds and Cowboy just got absolutely whipped. And McGregor is back, and I didn't expect McGregor to do this well. I kind of fed into Cowboy being, no disrespect to Cowboy, but being a better fighter and lasting longer than 40 seconds. But I don't think he was ready for that onslaught just so early in the fight. But you could tell McGregor really wanted it. He was crying after the fight. Like, he really, this meant so much to him. I think the last time he cried during a fight was the Chad Mendes fight, and you know that was when he became interim champion. That was just before he beat Aldo in a few seconds. But I mean, at least Aldo threw a punch. I don't think Cowboy could have done anything different. He could have gotten that takedown, but as he said before, he wanted to go 5 rounds with him. He didn't want to get a takedown, and yeah, fair play to him. McGregor hopefully will be fighting Jorge Masvidal in his next fight, or hopefully will be sometime this year. we'll see that fight, because that is 100% one of the main fights that should be happening this year. So next up we have the Royal Rumble, and Charlotte Flair won the Women's Royal Rumble, and the Men's Royal Rumble was won by Drew McIntyre. Two very good choices, two people who have worked for the company for a long time now and really have grafted, and I'm excited to see what happens with them at WrestleMania. I'm not too much of a wrestling fan anymore, but with these big 4 pay-per-views with WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam and Survivor Series, it's always good to kind of pop in and see what's happening. I feel like the Men's Royal Rumble was the right person won without a doubt, and then the Women's Royal Rumble I thought should have been won by Shayna Baszler, entering number 30 and eliminating pretty much every woman who was left in the ring. And yeah, I hope Shayna still makes it to Mania, and hopefully she will challenge the other women's champion that Charlotte doesn't challenge. I think we're going to get Charlotte versus Becky and probably Shayna versus Bayley, but you know, things could change. I'm not exactly sure, but fair play. It was a solid pay-per-view. I really enjoyed watching it, and yeah, the Men's Royal Rumble was one of the best Royal Rumbles I've seen in a while. Moving on to a Nissan Gibb and Jake Paul. Now I will do a video after the fight, basically talking about my thoughts on it. I believe that Jake Paul will lose this fight. I believe Gibb, from what I've seen, he definitely has this non-stop aggressive pressure, but he looks more clean as a boxer now. He's not swinging from here, he's kind of like, he's more tidy, he's kind of swinging from the hips a little bit more, twisting into his shots, and it would be exciting to see how that fight ends. I'm hoping we do see a knockout or a stoppage, because these two really want it. Obviously Jake Paul wants to fight KSI after this fight. Gibb wants just to elevate his career, and by beating Jake Paul he will 100% do that. So I'm really looking forward to the fight, and I'll be talking about the fight after it's happened and giving my honest thoughts on what I thought of the card, because I'll be watching the undercard as well. We've got Tevin Farmer fighting on the card, and we've got multiple championship fights on that card as well, so it should be a really interesting fight. Now finally I want to talk about two very special people. I don't really want to end the video on a sad note, but these two people 100% deserve to be mentioned, and I'm not saying these are the only two people that's passed away this month, but these two people definitely had such an impact on the entertainment business. The first being Terry Jones, who was a part of Monty Python, who wrote The Holy Grail and The Life of Brian, two fantastic comedies. Me as a drama student, I was able to be in Spamalot and actually play at the Black Knight, so I'm very familiar with their work. And these guys, Monty Python was just such an amazing comedic group, and Terry Jones being one of the key members of this group, of this comedic group, who brought so much laughter and entertainment. It's very sad to see him pass away. The other one being a little bit more mainstream, Kobe Bryant sadly passing away. And what's made even more sad isn't just the fact that he was 42 years old, but his 13-year-old daughter was also killed in the plane crash. That's not what we want to see at the end of this month. Obviously we want to have some big moments, but we'll definitely pay tribute to them. Kobe Bryant as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and Terry Jones as one absolutely hilarious entertainer who entertained me and a lot of other people for many and many of years. But yeah, I hate to end on that note, but I wasn't going to end on Love Island either, because that would just be terrible. That would be even worse actually. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, subscribe, and peace.